we good?
We're good. Just don't do it right now, please.
Hello, lovely people, and welcome back to another episode of What Happened, where I'll be recapping Season 4, Episode 18 of The Fosters, titled Dirty Laundry. Now, this episode deals with Lena and Steph kind of feeling the pressures of Steph's new job, Callie meeting Aaron's family, and it's also revealed what Drew, that principal substitute guy, is really up to. So let's dive in. I'm gonna kick things off with Jude. Now, Jude, as you know, has been kind of going up and down this whole season. Sometimes he's being pulled in the right directions, other times he's really rebelling. In this episode, when Jude goes to history class, there's a dildo in his chair, and the kid in the desk behind him says, "Oh, I thought you'd want this after that homosex ed class you had." Excuse me, that is so rude. Also, where did that kid even go get a dildo? Are his parents even watching him? How old are these kids, 13 or something? At that age, I don't think I even knew what one of those was. Jude ends up throwing the dildo away, but he definitely has his eyes set on revenge. Now, Jude wants to decorate his pal Taylor's locker for her birthday, so he asks Lena if he can get into school on the weekend in order to decorate it, but Lena tells him that he's not allowed to because it's considered vandalism. But of course, it's Jude, and lately nothing stops Jude. So he and Noah get into the school after hours, and they decorate Taylor's locker, and then Jude decides, hey, you know what? I want to find out what I got on that history test. So, what do? They go break into the teacher's desk and look at his test scores. Now, Jude has done pretty well on the test, and then he's like, let me see what that jerk's test is. And that jerk's name is Todd. So he goes and finds Todd's grade, and it's like a D-. And Jude, of course, wants his payback. So he goes and makes a bunch of copies of Todd's tests and tapes them to a bunch of lockers in the school. Now, when they get back to the house, Noah tells Jude that he actually doesn't want to be around him right now. And that was actually kind of surprising, since usually Noah is the one kind of pushing Jude to do things that aren't necessarily bad, but definitely not the good boy Jude that we're so used to. So Noah says, I don't want to be around you right now because you're sinking to Todd's level, and he says, bullying a bully is just as bad as just bullying someone. Jude, of course, doesn't see it that way and says that this kid has made fun of me twice for being gay. Am I supposed to just stand there and take it? Well, no, you should never just stand there and take it. But Noah, being the sensible one here, says there's better ways to fight back. And then Jude says, but I don't want to be a loser. And Noah responds saying, what makes you a loser is sinking to Todd's level. And then Noah just leaves. I gotta hand it to you, Noah. Good job trying to knock some sense into Jude here. But will he take your advice? The next day, Jude and Noah go back to the school, and it's a weekend, so they don't expect anybody to be there. Jude has decided to be the bigger man and take down all the tests, so him and Noah are trying to take down all these tests when they hear some voices, and it turns out to be Drew in the hallway giving someone a tour of the school. So they duck into a classroom in order to not be seen, and they overhear Drew's conversation. It turns out that it seems like Drew is trying to get money for the school and backers or something like that in order to get Anchor Beach converted from a charter school to a private school. Drew really is a sneaky, dirty little rat. Now, when it comes to Brandon, he really wants to move into the garage, but the moms tell him he basically kind of has to prove himself responsible enough for it. And things aren't really looking good for him because he kind of ends up messing up the shopping that he was supposed to do. And it also seems he might have some competition now when it comes to the garage, because Mariana has already told Gabe that he can move in before she's gotten approved by the moms or anyone else. Does she ever stop to really think about what she's doing before she does it? So why does Gabe need to live in their garage? Well, Mariana goes to see Gabe at the beginning of the episode, and he tells her he's actually moving because he took a job in Lake Tahoe, so he can't help them with this treehouse project. But by the end of the conversation, he feels guilty, so he said yes to helping. So then he goes and confides in Anna and says, I couldn't say no to the twins' face, but I really have to take this job in Lake Tahoe because he's been evicted from his own place, because he's been depressed lately and he hasn't been showing up for jobs. And so he has no money, and now he really needs to kick his butt in gear, so he's going to Lake Tahoe for this job. But Gabe just doesn't have the heart to tell Mariana and Jesus that he can't be there for him, so he asks Anna to do the deed for him. Now, Anna suggests to Mike that maybe Gabe can move into the one bedroom, but Mike obviously does not think that's a good idea because they're already going through a bunch of stuff with AJ and Anna moving in and all of that. So later on, Mariana's babysitting Isabella while Anna finishes moving, and then Anna tells Mariana the truth, saying Gabe can't help you because right now he has no place to live and he really needs to go to Lake Tahoe for that job. Now back at the house, Mariana barges in and asks Lena if Gabe can move into the garage. Now Lena is all kind of stressed out dealing with Jesus and Brandon messing up the shopping and everything, so she just sarcastically says yes because she's just, like I said, fed up with making all these decisions by herself because Steph has been MIA due to her new job and she can't get a hold of her, so she's had to make the decisions in the house. And then when Steph finds out what the decisions are, she gets mad and it's just a big mess. Mariana, though, doesn't pick up on Lena's sarcasm and just goes, "Oh, good, because I already told him yes." And then poor Lena's face. Oh man. So now it just kind of looks like Gabe is moving into the garage. Moving on to Emma and Jesus, let's just say they just really want to get it on in this episode. That's it. Although Emma is still a little hesitant, and she basically tells Jesus that she wants a doctor's note before she'll have sex with him because she's worried about him with his TBI. Jesus then goes and asks Lena in a very awkward conversation if he's allowed to have sex, and Lena's like, "I have no idea, I'm not a doctor, I don't know anything." And then Jesus says, "Yo, can you call my doctor for me and see if it's okay for me to have sex?" Now what's even more awkward than that conversation that Jesus and Lena just had, which was definitely more awkward for Lena than Jesus, the conversation that Lena has with both Emma and Jesus after she calls his doctor. Now Steph and Lena have decided that maybe for all the kids except Jude, that maybe they should relax some of the rules that they've had in the house, like the closed door policy. So Lena tells Jesus and Emma what the doctor told her. She basically says that Jesus is cleared for sex as long as they don't do anything strenuous, like picking each other up or anything in the shower, or basically no acrobatics, and he has to be on the bottom. So Jesus seems ecstatic by this news. Emma, I can't really read her face. I feel like she's still kind of in a weird place after everything that's been going on with her. But Emma and Jesus then run off, and Lena hilariously just says, "Please don't do it right now." But of course, Jesus and Emma are running off to close their door and have sex. But poor Jesus can't get it up. So Emma says, maybe it's because of your medication. My aunt was on medication for depression and she didn't have a sex drive, so maybe that's the problem. So after Emma leaves, Jesus goes downstairs and Lena tells him to get his medication, so he goes and gets the bottle out of the cabinet, and lo and behold, he can actually read because he starts reading the side effects, and everybody is so shocked, and one of those side effects is in fact impotence. But everyone is just so happy that Jesus is reading again that he gets away with not taking his medicine, or so we thought. Brandon later brings Jesus his medicine as Jesus is trying to find Emma's letter, because now that he can read again, he wants to read the letter. Now Brandon lies and says that he hasn't seen it, and then he hands Jesus his medicine, and Jesus takes the medicine, and the two of them have this little bonding brother moment, like thanks for being a good brother, or you're a good brother too, this moment. And then when Brandon leaves, we see Jesus spit out his pill. Now this definitely can't be good. It looks like 16-year-old Jesus, who I kind of sometimes forget is only 16, would rather have sex than, well, live, because who knows what's going to happen to him if he stops taking his meds for a long time. Because Lena said he's got to be on these meds for like 5 years. Alright, now speaking of that letter, where did Emma's letter end up? Well, after Steph and Lena have a fight over making decisions and being too busy, etc., Steph's doing the laundry. And she's got Brandon's pants, and she finds an envelope in them, and it turns out to be Emma's letter to Jesus, and Steph opens the envelope and, well, reads the letter. Now it looks like all the secrets are about to be spilled. Okay, so the last storyline to talk about is that of Aaron and Callie. Now, Callie's trial date, we've learned, has been set a week away, and Callie goes and she hangs out with Aaron, and she's catching him up to speed on everything that she's learned recently about Troy and his girlfriend who used to be his manager, and how she thinks the two of them had an affair. Now, she still really wants to talk to this woman, Vanessa's ex-husband, but he lives in LA, and what do you know? Aaron actually says he has to go to LA for the weekend for his dad's birthday. So he invites Callie to go with him, but he says, "I'm not sure if AJ will be cool with this," and then Callie responds saying, "I don't think AJ's gonna care." So then Callie goes home and asks Lena if she can go to LA, and Lena doesn't know what to do because Steph's not answering, so she says yes. Callie and Aaron end up hopping in the Mini Cooper to go on an adventure to Los Angeles. When the two arrive at Aaron's house, we learn that he has a brother named Evan, who's played by Gus Camp from Disney Channel's Best Friends Whenever, And he seems to be the only one in the house who's kind of accepted Aaron's transition, as both of the parents definitely, you can tell there's some tension there. They both slip up and call Aaron Allison, and everything's just a little bit awkward and tense. Evan is later trying to figure out if Callie is a lesbian or if she's straight and what's the deal with her and Aaron tells him to stop because Callie has a boyfriend. Then Evan leaves, and that's when Callie tells Aaron that she and AJ actually broke up. She also then confides in him, saying that she's kind of scared about this trial and she's worried about what people will say about her, and she's kind of ready to take a plea deal again. She just doesn't know if she can actually handle this trial. Next comes a super awkward dinner where Aaron's dad is definitely not shy about how he feels about Aaron's transition. Callie ends up going off on him, thinking she's sticking up for Aaron, but they just end up fighting, and then Aaron's mom ends up having to step in saying, hey, can we just stop it? This is a birthday party. Let's just all try to get along for this night. Callie later goes into Aaron's room, and Aaron is definitely upset at Callie. And Callie isn't quite sure why, because she thinks that she was doing a good thing sticking up for him, and Aaron goes, you know what, I can defend myself. He then explains to Callie that he made a choice to not push his family away and to accept them because his family is very important to him and he didn't want to lose his family. So he kind of deals with it, and he basically hopes that they will learn to accept him as time goes on. And it seems like his mom's starting to get there. The brother is there, but he's not sure if the dad will get there. Callie's just kind of confused by all of this. She basically is like, why would you want to be with a family that can't accept you? After they have their little tiff, Callie then goes downstairs to get some water where Aaron's mom is also sitting. Callie apologizes to the mom, and the two have this nice chat where the mom actually tells her side of everything and explains why the transition has been hard for her, but also she explains that she does feel guilty because she feels like she's made Aaron's life hard, you know, by pushing him to do things as a child like be in ballet or wear dresses and everything. Now that Callie's kind of seen a new light and a new side to this whole story, she goes up to see Aaron again and she apologizes, and then the two end up kissing. The next morning, Aaron wakes up to see Callie having a good laugh with Aaron's mom and brother, and Callie does something sweet for Aaron's mom. She went out and got donuts and coffee, but she also printed out a picture that she took of Aaron and hands it to his mom. Aaron's mom then goes and takes the picture and puts it on the mantle, which is a very big moment for Aaron because there's no pictures of him post-transition in the house. Now, before heading back home, Aaron and Callie take a pit stop, and Callie can't actually go talk to Vanessa's ex, so Aaron goes and talks to Vanessa's ex, and he comes back and relays everything to Callie and says that Vanessa was indeed having an affair with Troy and that she was kind of obsessed with Troy, so she would do anything for him. And that probably means lying on his time card about where he was the night that his grandma was murdered. Now the ex-husband has actually said that he's willing to talk to the lawyers or do anything that he needs to help Callie out, which is a big sigh of relief because maybe this is the break Callie needs. Now this definitely sparks something in Callie, gives her another glimmer of hope, and she actually says now she's ready to take this trial head on instead of taking a plea deal. Aaron then brings up the kiss, saying, it's fine, if that didn't mean anything because you were in such a vulnerable spot, you're going through a lot right now, like it didn't mean it, and then Callie cuts him off and kisses him again. So it seems like there is something maybe more to this relationship that we might see develop. So to sum things up for this episode, Callie has a new ally on her side in the form of Vanessa's ex-husband. Her and Aaron are getting real close now. Jesus has stopped taking his meds just so he can have sex. And Steph has found Emma's letter. And it seems like Mariana's web of lies is still growing. So, what's coming up next on The Fosters? Let's take a look.
Can I tell you something that you can't tell moms?
Everyone's hiding something.
You didn't give Jesus a chance to tell you what he really wanted.
Someone gets caught.
You can't keep secrets. What's going on?
Only one episode.
Uh-oh. It looks like all these secrets are about to explode, but which ones are going to be exposed? Like, everything's getting so juicy now. We only have 2 episodes in this season left, so are all the secrets gonna come out, or maybe 1 or 2 of those secrets gonna come out? I have no idea what's gonna happen. So I want to know from you, what do you think is gonna happen next? Whose secret do you think will blow up in their face the most? And also, what do you think of Callie and Aaron? You can leave me all those thoughts in the comments down below or on social media. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and then of course, as always, click over here to check out some more of my awesome videos. Maybe I just think they're awesome. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe in this button right here. And as always, a high five to you if you are already subscribed. Make sure you hit that bell to get notified of every new video. And until next time, I'm Lisa. Peace out.